Hi, welcome back. I'm attorney Steve Tolan. This is In Your Defense. Today we're going to wrap up our brief series on responding to federal subpoenas, the paper subpoenas that you get. And want to talk now, let's assume that you've hired an experienced criminal defense attorney, or if I were hired and I came in, and after you've had your attorney narrow down the scope of what it is the government's looking for, some things you need to look for, some things that a good experienced attorney will advise you about. First and foremost is they should have a clear idea at this point what it is that the government's looking for, what it is you need to provide. They should do a good job of helping you narrow down the scope so that you have a clear expectation of what it is you're looking for. Next, they should, after narrowing down the scope, they should have a clear indication of timelines and expectations. A good attorney doesn't leave you out to dry. Helps you feel safe and secure about your time and about the data you're providing and about the information you're providing, and should hopefully calm you to where you have a clear idea of now this is not the journey that you wanted to be on, but now you can see a way out. You know, by following your experienced attorney's advice and counsel, you're going to take those steps and you're going to toe the line and you're going to get out of this, hopefully without too much damage to you. So they're going to set timelines and expectations, narrow the scope of the information you're to provide, all those things. And then after doing that, you're going to have a good discussion, or your attorney will engender the type of detailed and trustworthy conversation with you to cherry pick who the employee is going to be that's going to share this information. So you have to remember that all businesses have different types of information, and that federal prosecutors don't know these things. They're attorneys, and so they haven't if they haven't had a case that deals with, say, restaurant and bar taxes on alcohol, they're not going to be familiar with restaurant software like the Aloha system, or if they haven't had a payroll tax violation or some type of fraud or money laundering case that involves payroll taxes or things of that nature. They're not going to be familiar with various spreadsheets that are used in accounting services, things like that. So there is somebody in your business, whether it's you or an employee, that knows that, right? They know how to provide that information. And the government's going to be relying on you. So a good experienced attorney is going to help you from the very beginning start thinking, getting to know your employees, getting to know you and your business and the data that you have that the government is requesting, and start figuring out who's going to share that information, when are they going to provide it, how are they expected to provide it, because chances are that employee later on, they may be called to testify at a grand jury proceeding, or certainly they're going to be called to meet with investigators, hopefully over the phone, to minimize disruption in your business, and they could be called eventually to a jury trial. So you need to be thinking, a good experienced attorney is going to help you think through all those things way ahead of time, so you don't just start marching in one direction. What a good attorney helps you do is what I call economy of movement. You want to narrow your steps. You want to, every step you take, every move you make, I'm kidding, I'm just going into some police there, but every step you take, no pun intended, needs to be for the furtherance of the objective to get out of this as quick as you can with minimal disruption on you, your family, and your business. So those are the ways that a good experienced attorney helps you respond to a paper subpoena. Remember, you don't want to be this. You don't want to be you want to stay the shark in your business, the waters that you swim in, that you're successful in as you go and you hunt down these little fish that grow your business. That's where you want to stay. You don't want to be facing the government that's the shark here, swimming after you here. You don't want to flip that role. You want to stay where you are in your waters, where it's safe and where you know what you're doing. Let the experienced criminal defense attorney come in and help you do that, okay? Next time we're going to talk about federal subpoenas when the government comes and serves them on you in person. When the government shows up and serves that, and you see that Navy jacket with the FBI yellow lettering, that is a totally different ballgame. We're going to talk about how you respond when federal agents are at your business demanding physical computers, hardware, data, things of that nature from you, and they start interviewing your employees, and it's out of control quickly. We're going to talk about how to handle that and how a good attorney helps you navigate through that next time. I'm Steve Tolan. Thank you for joining us. This has been In Your Defense.